as journalists, sometimes you gotta clock other journalists. Okay. So two recent press tour incidents are sparking debate about journalists crossing the line with awkward or poorly phrased questions. So the first incident involves Chris Evans. So while promoting his new film Sacrifice with I'm gonna make sure I say your name correctly, girl. I practice it. Anya Taylor-Joy. I hope I said it correctly, girl. So at the Toronto Film Festival, a reporter asked Chris Evans if playing a failed actor felt a little bit closer to home. The question stunned the audience, drew laughter, and left Taylor Joy visibly awkward. And Chris Evans handled it calmly, but the clip went viral, with many criticizing the reporter for an unnecessary jab. So I'm gonna play the clip for you guys really quickly, okay?
Concerns with playing a part that was potentially a bit closer to home, or if you felt like it was going to take. I don't imagine you in a bathroom on your phone trying to go viral. I'm so sorry. Or for there are any concerns about it shaking the fictional world of the film?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, listen. Obviously, at face value, there's a little bit of an overlap, but and that can be part of the reason why you might want to play the role. But when I read the script.
Yeah. Now, let me give you the second incident before we sit here and get into it all. So then the second incident involves Ayo Edebiri, Julia Roberts, and Andrew Garfield. So after the hunt, the movie's called After the Hunt interview, an Italian journalist named Federica asked Roberts and Garfield about Hollywood now that the Me Too and Black Lives Matter are done, explicitly excluding Ayo from answering. And Ayo jumped in, basically saying that the movements are far from over, stressing that activism continues beyond mainstream coverage. And then Roberts and Garfield backed her up. And after the backlash, Federica defended herself on Instagram, rejecting accusations of racism and arguing that she was misunderstood, while she also was condemning the personal attacks she's received. So let me play that clip as well.
What we lost during the politically correct era, and what we have to expect in Hollywood after the Me Too movement and the Black Lives Matter are done. The two of you, Andrew and Julia.
Well, okay. Can you repeat that? And I with your sunglasses on, I can't tell which of us you're talking to. So
the question was for Julia and Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
Now that the Me Too era and the Black Lives Matter are done, what we have to expect in Hollywood, and what we lost, if we lost something with the politically correct era.
Well, it's not done.
Sorry, I know that that's not for me, and I don't know if it's purposeful if it's not me, but I just am curious. I don't think it's done. I agree
it's
with
not
you
done.
I don't think it's done at all. I think maybe hashtags might not be used as much, but I do think that there's work being done by activists, by people every day. That's beautiful, important work that's not finished. That's really, really, really active for a reason, because this world is really charged.
Yeah.
And that work isn't finished at all. Maybe if there's not mainstream coverage in the way that there might have been
daily
headlines in the way that it might have been 8 or so years ago, but I don't think that it means that the work is done. That's what I would say.
And that the movements have been halted anyway.
Yes.
Like the movements are still absolutely alive,
Yes.
as you say, just maybe not as
labeled
or
covered.
Yeah, or witnessed as or kind of magnified as much in this present moment.
So
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So Frederica, like I mentioned earlier, she put a statement on Instagram or anything like that. But there was this one TikTok comment, like someone made a video because, people have been like reacting to this, right? So she had commented under this one girl who had made a video, and she said, "I would like to apologize if my question was unclear and formulated with wrong words, as I am an Italian mother tongue." Oh, thanks, Shayla. Period. As I am an Italian mother tongue, which I intended to say was the following: compared to the peak of movements such as Me Too or Black Lives Matter, there now seems to be more cautious. Now seems to be more callous or cautious. Is she trying to say
cautious and thoughtful approach,
girl, in assessing individual responsibility rather than rushing into social media trials or collective prejudice. My intention was never to offend, but to rather emphasize the importance of elevating each case on its own merits with fairness and respect.
So for me,
Go ahead, girl.
for me, the first thing that I think again as journalists is like you have someone. I know a lot of, especially like when we are of a community, we don't want to speak for the community, but I've taken several classes where it's like you can't speak on a community or a problem that you're not a part of. So for if you're going to ask about the Black Lives Matter movement and there's a Black person standing right in front of you, and meanwhile as the journalist you're approaching the question and being for the two of you, and it's the white people in the room, when you are asking a question that directly impacts the Black person that is in front of you, it's just like, are you really trying to get to the core answer? It seems that you're not, because why would you ask the white people about the Black people issue? And I know like in for the Me Too movement is not specifically related to that, but for you to single out, oh, for you too. And I appreciate Andrew, the male actor that was there, because he immediately, as soon as the question, he turned around, because it's like common sense. Like, I don't care from what country you're from. It is very obvious that if you're asking a question about a significant or a certain type of person, you should direct the question to that person.
But it's like also you talk about the Me Too movement and you going to include Andrew in it, and I get it. The Me Too movement is like a grander scale, a grander conversation, and everything like that.
Mhm.
But I directed to the two women, no, and so for me, as Shayla will tell you, as people who have sat down with celebrities and asked questions and stuff like that, I think some journalists, I get it. You know, it's like a very thin line between going viral and going unnoticed. There's a very thin line between the two. But when you're interviewing celebrities, yes, you can have those fun, quirky, important type of questions, but you also have to make it somewhat relevant and also be cautious to who you are speaking to. Because it's very easy for me to sit there and ask the question to Shayla right now, and it's just me and Shayla. But that's like me asking Shayla, so how do you feel about, women who just want to sit, like white women who always just bleach blonde dye their hair? Is Shayla can't relate.
Girl, that got nothing to do with me.
That literally does not correlate. That does not correlate to anything that has to do with,
especially if I was sitting right next to a white person. Like, girl, why are you asking me? Ask her. She the one dyeing the hair.
Is that I don't understand what's not clicking. And then even to the Chris Evans clip, it's just like Chris Evans is far from a failed actor. So it's just like, you Captain America?
And I think that also shows that like some people devalue journalism, which we've talked about several times. They're like, oh yeah, just bring in an influencer. Like they'll ask the questions. I think some people get it twisted. Journalism is not for everybody, because there are real true journalists out there that take their job very seriously. And it's not just about asking questions. It's about coming in with research and reading the room. Like certain questions are just not meant to ask. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't ask the hard questions. Yes, I'm all for asking the hard questions, but there's a time and a place for everything, and how you word things matter. This man is in a public space with all these people, and you out here basically dragging him, and you think he gonna invite you to the next screening? Oh, baby, I'm never answering your question again. And I feel like he shouldn't have to.
Exactly. And like, I think for me, to your point, when you like as a journalist, you try and focus on what you want, I guess, your journalistic stamp to be. Like for me, when I interview people, the main thing that I want is I want them to feel comfortable to answer the questions with me. I want them to feel like they are talking to a friend, to be not even as a friend, an acquaintance, and you're comfortable with me. So you don't feel like I'm trying to get something at you, because I classify those two cases as gotcha journalism. Like you are trying to rage bait or get a reaction, because back to what I mentioned earlier, that thin line between viral and unnoticed. You trying to break through that line. And like you broke through it, but not for the right reasons. Because now instead of people talking about the person that you're interviewing, they're talking about you as the interviewer. So it's just like, to me, I just think be very cautious when you do take that title of a journalist, and remember, what do you want your like, I guess, your mark or name to represent? Because no celebrity I have ever interviewed could sit there and say that I have tried to play gotcha journalism with them. And like, I've gotten those clips. Like, I've gotten those like little viral clips where people are like, oh my God, I can't believe this person said it, or like said this or said that. And they focus mainly on the subject that I am interviewing, not based off my question. My question was just I set the ground for it, and you took the walk with it. Like, that is what it is for me. And that's why I said sometimes we gotta clock these journalists, because I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you saying?
Yeah. And I just want to again emphasize that we're not saying that you shouldn't ask the hard questions, because I think that is the job of journalists, to get things answered that, you know, just a regular person on the street wouldn't be able to get answered. So I'm all for hard questions, but the way you phrase it, where you're doing it, read the room, all of those things matter.